This is the geometry review for chapter 4.1, 4.7, and 5.5. I'm going to start with talking about some of the things we're going to cover in this video. First of all, number one, we're going to work on understanding the relationship between sides and angles of a triangle. Secondly, we're going to classify triangles according to their sides and angles. Okay, this is going to be covered in the first video. Then we're going to stop that video. There is a second video that focuses on calculating the missing values using triangle properties. We're going to go on and talk about some of the things you need to take care of in order to retake a test. Number one, watching this video. So you're doing that right now. Secondly, you should be taking notes on the video which covers each of these topics. Number three, you're going to complete the review problems listed at the end of the video. And by end of the video, that is the end of the second video that reviews chapters 4.1, 4.7, and 5.5. 4, you're going to turn in your notes and review problems to your teacher. And finally, you're going to set up a time with your teacher to retake the whole test within 10 school days, or under special circumstances, a time that works with you and your teacher. So discuss it with your teacher. We're ready to start. The first thing we're going to talk about is understanding the relationship between sides and angles. What that entails is, how do you decide if three numbers will make a triangle? How do you know where the longest side will be? And finally, how do you know where the smallest angle will be? We're going to start with, how do you decide if three numbers will make a triangle? Okay, so I already have a couple pictures here. If I look at this first triangle here, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. If I look at this first triangle here, I have one side, a second side that's a little bit longer, and a third side. Those are three pieces that obviously form a triangle. But if I come up with three other pieces, maybe one that looks like this, a second one that is so long, and a third one that maybe is as long as, well, a couple inches or so, obviously that does not make a triangle. Well, why doesn't it make a triangle? Because two of the sides, these two sides, they're not long enough to meet with each other, because the third side is just that much longer. So what we need to look at is comparing the sides. I need to see that whenever I have two sides, so for example, if I have a side here and I have a side here, the sum of those sides needs to be greater than the third side. And you can see why, because if it doesn't, they're not going to meet. They're going to be way too short. We're going to look at this first problem here. 4 inches, 6 inches, 2 inches. So one pair of sides is 4 and 6. Like I was saying before, I need to make sure that the sum of those two sides is greater than the third side of 2. So far that looks good. I'm going to check that off. That looks good. But 6 and 2 inches, when I take that combination, is it greater than 4 inches? Yep, 8 is greater than 4. That looks good. My last combination is 4 plus 2. Is that greater than the third side of 6? Well, 6 is equal to 6, but 6 is not greater than 6. This does not check out. So if any one of these is a no, the answer is no. That does not make a triangle. We'll look at the second one here. Move it over here. 13 feet, 9 feet, 21 feet. So again, I'm going to pair up. Whoa, that kind of moved over. I'm going to pair a couple up. 13 plus 9. I'm going to see how it compares to 21. 13 plus 9. 22 is greater than 21. That looks good. All right, now I'm going to pair up 9 and 21. 9 plus 21, is that greater than 13? Yes, 30 is greater than 13. That looks good. I'm going to try one other combination here. 13 and 21. 13 plus 21 is definitely greater than 9. So all of those combinations check out. Those three sides, they can make a triangle. Okay, so we'll look at one last case. 2 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 1 centimeters. If I try 2 plus 5, and I try 2 plus 1, and I try 5 plus 1, I'm going to see if all of those are greater than the third side. Well, 2 plus 5, the remaining side is 1. Is 2 plus 5 greater than 1? Yes, that works. With 2 and 1, my remaining side is 5. Is 2 plus 1 greater than 5? No. As soon as I have a no, I don't really need to go any farther. If I really want to try my last side, is 5 plus 1, I'm going to erase this here, is 5 plus 1 greater than 2? Yeah. But as soon as I come to a no, I don't even need to bother with that. One no means the whole picture is a no. If there are two sides, again, if I go back to this, if there are two sides that when you add them up are not bigger than the third side, it's not going to make a triangle. Those two sides are not going to be big enough to make a triangle. Okay, we're going to go on to the next thought. It's related to what we were just doing. So we were just saying that you can't make a triangle out of just any three sides. Well, let's say you have two sides. You have a 5-foot board and a 12-foot board. What is the range of sides that that third piece could be? Well, it's simply a combination of the sum of these two. So I'm going to go 5 plus 12 and the difference of these two. And of course, a length has to be positive. So we want to take the bigger number minus the smaller number. We want to take 12 minus 5. So that third side, I'm going to call it X, has to be between the sum of 5 and 12 and the difference of 5 and 12. So 12 minus 5 is 7. 5 plus 12 is 17. So that third side has to be in between those. X has to be in between 7 and 17 feet. We'll add the little dash for feet. Okay, so if I look at 10, 14, and what can that third side be? There's many different things that can be. There are also many things that can't be. We can't have a 100 centimeter strip that's going to make a triangle with 14 and 10. But again, we want to know what is the range of what it can be. We're just going to simply add the two together, 10 and 14. We'll subtract the 2. And X is going to be in between those. The range will be in between 14 minus 10, which is 4, and 10 plus 14, which is 24. So it has to be between 4 and 24 centimeters. So if I want to be really precise, I'm going to add 4 centimeters and 24 centimeters. Okay? Now we're going to step it up a bit. We're going to move down here to my left triangle. I'm going to move to my left triangle here. So just like before, I said that x had to be between the sum of the two sides that are given and the difference of the two sides. It's almost the same idea here. It's just this time we don't just have a third side that we're looking for. We're given an expression for that third side. And just like before, that expression needs to be between the sum of 5 and 7. So it needs to be between the sum of 5 and 7 and the difference of 5 and 7. So again, bigger number minus smaller number. Okay, so 7 minus 5 is 2. 5 plus 7 is 12. And then my expression in between should be the same. Okay, so very similar to what we were just doing. We just, instead of x in between the sum and the difference, the expression is between the sum and the difference. Well, I want to solve for x. I want to know what the range of x is going to be. So I am going to solve for x. I'm going to get x by itself in the middle there. And I'm going to do that by, well, how do I get x by itself? I need to get rid of minus 2, and I need to get rid of the 2 in front of the x. So to get rid of minus 2, I'm going to add 2 to all three sections. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Oh, I guess I forgot to add the 2 to the 12. Add it to all three sections. And finally, you're going to divide everything by 2 because you're trying to get rid of that 2 in front of the x. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2x over 2, that just crosses off. And 14 divided by 2 is 7. So your x has to be between 2 and 7. Okay, so let's try it on the triangle on the right here. So we're looking over here now. Once again, I'm going to sandwich 4x plus 2. I'm going to put it in between the sum of 18 and 8 and the difference of 18 and 8. 18 minus 8 is 10. 18 plus 8 is 26. 4x plus 2 is going to stay right in the middle. Okay, so now the expression has to be between 10 and 26. That third side, 4x plus 2, is between 10 and 26. I still want to know what the range of x is. So if I try to get x by itself, just like an equation, how do I get x by itself? I get rid of plus 2 by subtracting 2. I get rid of 4, it's x times 4, by dividing by 4. But again, this time I need to do it to all three parts. So I'm going to subtract 2. (26 minus 2 is 24). And finally, I'm going to divide by 4. (8 divided by 4 is 2. These cross off. 24 divided by 4 is 6. And the range of x is between 2 and 6. We have now finished talking about how to decide if three numbers will make a triangle. This is the end of the first video. We're going to go on to a second video, video number 2, which is a review of chapter 4.1, 4.7, 5.5. What I would like you to do at this point is, once this video has ended, write a summary. You can see there's a summary block at the end here. At the end of your notes, write a summary of what we just talked about, which is, given three numbers, how do you decide if you can make a triangle? Secondly, given two numbers, how you know what the range of the third side is? And finally, given an expression for this third side, how do you decide what the range of x is? Once you've completed that, you can start video number 2 of this section.